Hello? Are you there? So it is well past 8 p.m. I just went to hot yoga. The only reason I'm on my phone is because I'm picking Scott up at the airport at midnight. So I'm doing everything I can to stay up. I hope you enjoy my hot yoga hair. What we're talking about tonight, I just had some sugar. So I'm all full of energy. Otherwise, I'll be sleeping before I even get to the airport. So I just wanted to share with you guys today a little bit of experience that I've been having now that I am teaching in the area that I've, long time coming, found my niche. So the 4 steps that I teach on for health coaches to make money online, one of them is niching down. So that's actually step 2. And I'm guilty of this. I was years as a health coach, didn't niche down. I was helping everybody and their dog. I was helping pregnant people to sports people to anybody. I was the yes person. I would say, yes, sure, I'll help you. And I was known just for this broad nutrition, health, and wellness. And luckily, I had a ton of referrals on my side, and I always had clients in lots of jobs. However, if you sell online and you don't have a bunch of referrals coming for you, you must niche down. And not only for sales, but it actually is amazing for your clarity. So I just experienced this a couple days ago, actually in yoga. Now that I'm niching down and not offering this whole wide range of things anymore, I'm specifically coaching health coaches now, which is I've niched down so specific that the only person I coach with now are health coaches. So yoga teachers, nutritionists, the 2 gals that just signed up for my 90-day escape plan, they're dietitians. So it's just, now that I've niched down, it's actually freaking amazing because it takes up a lot of brain power to teach on all of these topics, even nutrition as a whole. It's this freaking wide range thing. So anyways, I just got home from yoga, and it was 2 days ago I was in class, and I couldn't get this grin off of my face. I was just so happy, and I was just thinking back what I had done that day, and I had a coaching call with one of my clients, my health coaches. I had done a live video on the topics, and I was just, finally, I figured out my niche. So yes, you can be successful if you don't niche down. However, it's much easier to share, much easier to sell. I've done previous launches in the past. So my system to sell, which is what I teach people in my 4-step process, is empty out, you got to empty out before you can fill your cup back up. Step 2 is to niche down. Step 3 is to declare how much you want to make and how you're going to do that, how many clients, etc. And then step 4 is to share and show up until you make that. So I've done this in multiple different programs and avenues, and it's never been so easy now that I've niched down. So I put up my offer, I just started in September, and I declared I wanted 3 students for the fall, because I still run my business full time. So I had room for 3 students, and I had put the package out there. It was $500 a month or $1,300 up front. Health coaches who want to quit their day job. And all that I did, I was super clear on what I wanted, and I niched down before I went to sell it. But all I did was share each and every day. I did no Facebook ads. I did no crazy, asking everybody. All I did was showed up live every single day and shared the information I knew. So for people to purchase stuff off of you, whether that's in person or online, they need to know and trust you. So how they do that is you share your stuff, share the information, and that's all I did. Nothing fancy. So if you are looking to sell online, that's the process I do, and I just did it. I still have 1 more seat, so I'm well on my way to my goal, which was 3 students for the fall. And nothing fancy. I just showed up and shared, and it's a completely new niche for me. So I didn't even have an email list to market to. In the past, if I was selling a health program, I would have my whole email list of people who were interested in health that I could sell to. But this launch, it was a completely new niche. So I just went live every day on Facebook and Instagram and shared with people, and that's a proven method. So again, if you're a health coach and you want to sell online, this is the 4-step process I do with my students, and you can get started today absolutely free. So what you do is you grab a blank piece of paper and you list out everything that you're doing right now, all of your jobs, because if you're anything like me, you have 10 different hats on right now. I remember when I was, right before I quit my day job for the last time and went full-time with Nourish, I was a food rep. I was working in a health food store. I worked in a medical clinic. I worked in another clinic. I worked corporate wellness. I was the yes girl. So if you can relate, let me know in the comments if you are a health professional or a health coach and you're constantly saying yes to everything and getting more certifications. To add on to that, I also had my yoga teacher training. I was teaching in studios. had my own business. I was selling online. So if you're anything like me, you have multiple hats on and you're saying yes to every opportunity, because that's what we're trained to do, is say yes. And if you're building your business part-time, then of course you want to say yes to things, but what's going to pay the bills, right, is your full-time gig or your other job. So what you can do is grab a piece of paper or your journal and you just list out all of your what you're doing, jobs, other things. This post yoga hair is like tripping me out here. Look like some child. This is what you get when you join me at this hour. I usually have this rule that I don't go on my phone past 8 p.m., but I'm picking Scott up at the airport, so I must stay up. I had a coffee in the afternoon, and this is a tea, but going live to stay up. So if you're with me, let me know where you're joining from, where you're on where you're at, if you're a health coach or yoga teacher, nutritionist. Where was I? Okay, so the 4-step process that I did to sell my last launch, and I'm almost fully sold out. So it works. This system works. Is you write down everything where all your energy is going. So jobs, hobbies, everything. And then you rate them from 1 to 10. 1 is it's a complete energy drainer. It's like sucks the life out of you. You really don't feel good doing it. And this could be your day job. It could be, that might be how you feel at your day job. And then the number 10 would be it feels good and you want to keep it in your life. So you listed all your activities and rate them from 1 to 10. And then get rid of everything below 7 and 8. If it's your full-time job that you can't get rid of because of bills, then mark it as temporary and give yourself a timeline and do a mindset shift. No longer, I hate my job, I can't wait to get out of here, but I am grateful for this job because it's getting me to where I want to go. That's huge. Make that shift so that you don't fall into victimhood and just have this shitty energy. So anything that you have to keep and you can't let go of, mark it as temporary and be grateful for it, knowing that it's just a stepping stone. So that's step number 1. You can do this anytime, and it's not a one-shot deal. I did this in my 90-day escape plan. We do this when I coach people. However, I'm constantly doing this. It's like going to the gym. You got to keep going and keep emptying out your cup if you want more greatness to come. Step number 2, niche down. So I just did this, which was amazing. I just declared my niche. I went down super specific and declared for this last launch and moving forward what I do and what I sell. And it was I help health coaches make money online, specifically quit their day jobs within 90 days. How specific is that? So if you're watching and you're a health coach, you're no longer a health coach. You're no longer a fitness instructor or a dietitian or a Pilates instructor. You niche down to your specialty. So this is step number 2. And how you do this is you have to be knowledgeable in the subject. You can't just teach on whatever. So you actually have to have experience. And then is it a pain point? Like, do people actually struggle with it? Do some market research. Is it something that people actually need? And then if you can link your personal story, then it'll be so much easier to sell, because all you'll have to do is share. Kind of like what I just did. I just shared my experience of quitting my job. People relate, especially females. We like to buy things because of emotion. So if you tell a story, you're going to connect with the person and they're going to be able to relate. So that's step number 2, is to niche down. And when you niche down even further. Get so specific. Like, you think that it doesn't work because you think, oh, this is so specific. Like, how am I going to sell this? It actually works better because you're talking to a specific person rather than just this random, health and wellness. Nobody buys health and wellness. They buy a program that they want to cut cravings without counting calories, or drop 10 pounds without stepping foot in the gym. Like, something very specific, because then that person is purchasing that exact thing. Think back to what you last bought online or bought in the store. Was it something broad or was it specific? And then if you are a health coach and you've gotten some sales, that's amazing. And often, that's from referrals or from whatever, but guarantee that person bought because of you, or because of a specialty that they knew about, or because their friend said, oh, I was coaching with this person and they helped me specifically with this. So some of the great niches for nutrition would be gut health, how to decrease bloat, how to heal your gut, and then what else? Cut cravings without counting calories, drop 10 pounds without stepping foot in the gym. Yeah, you just get super specific. If you want some help, drop it in the comment and I'll help you niche down. Okay, so that's enough. That's step number 2. Step number 3 is to create your plan of action. So for me, it was, I had room for 3 people. I'm going to give you an example from when I did my 5K month, when I quit my day job. So this is how it worked. I laid out my freedom number. So I wrote out everything that I needed to pay for, like all my bills and everything, plus my travel. I'm from BC. I like to travel. I live in Nova Scotia, so I like to go away 1 or 2 times a year. So I wrote down everything, all of my expenses, as well as like my gym membership and travel expenses and paying off my student loan. I wrote everything out, and it was about $3,000 that I needed a month. But I shot higher, because the last thing I wanted was to be still like struggling, or if certain clients started and fell through, I didn't want to be trapped. So I went for $5,000. And how I did this was I worked backwards. So I knew I needed $5,000, and I built out one specific program, because the more specific, like we've been talking about, the easier it is to sell. And the last thing you want to do is paralyze your clients. I'm guilty of this. I've done this in the past. I've done this actually after my 5K month. I got so excited and started creating all of this stuff, and then people come to your website and they don't know what to purchase, so they just don't purchase. So that's like paralyzing your client. So what I did was I needed $5,000 that month, and I was working with my business coach at this time. So how I worked it out was I knew I wanted to work with people for 90 days, because I was sick and tired of seeing people one-up and then never seeing them again, and giving them all this work up front and then never seeing them. So I knew I only wanted to work with people for 90 days. So I made a 90-day plan for people. This was like a lifestyle overhaul, and I didn't even niche down. So it was a bit of a harder sell. If I was to go back and niche down, it would have been easier. I did end up selling all of the seats and making my $5,000. However, it was a lot of referrals, a lot of personally asking people. I had taken myself off the coaching market, so I was able to contact all those people that had said, when you're back on, let me know. So I did have some of that on my side. I didn't niche down at all. I called it How to Get Nourished. Like, what does that mean? Nobody knows what that means. So the people who bought were like people who knew me or already worked with me, and they knew my style. So don't name your program How to Get Nourished. It's cool, but it's now called How to Cut Cravings Without Counting Calories. Because my ideal client for that program doesn't like counting calories, and they've got crazy sugar addictions. So that's what I did. I made up that program, so I needed $5,000. I knew I wanted to work for 90 days, and then I priced it out. I knew I wanted 10 people, so that left me $500 a person. So the program was $1,000, and I did a 50% off sale for the launch, just for extra traction. So that was 10 seats at 50% off, $5,000. And how I sold it that time around, I didn't even do video yet. So all that I did was when I sold that, I actually didn't do video yet. I told my business coach to eat my shorts when she was like, hey, Steph, you should do video. I think it'd be really good for you. And I was like, hey, Linda, you should probably, I'm paying you, stop telling me what to do. Super stubborn entrepreneur. I didn't do video. I wrote, how did I sell that one? I personally reached out to people. I didn't have an email list yet, so I personally reached out to people. I did some social media posts. I got some referrals. But I didn't... You'll see in step 4 what I just gave her. I just kept showing up until the sales were sold. So that was my first successful launch, and coming out of this one now, a world of a difference. Okay, so step 3, I'm totally getting off track, and I hope it's like almost time to go to the airport. No, it's 10:22. I have to leave at 11:15. Okay. We're on step number 3. I'm just did yin yoga, so I'm like post yin high. Where are we? If you want all of these in like 5 minutes, I have a video on my YouTube with all 4 steps, like boom, 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 when I was up in the morning having coffee and like super chipper. Where are we? Step number 3. So you figure out what you want. For my first 5K launch, that's what it was. For this one specifically that I just did, it wasn't so much monetary. It was, I knew I wanted to work with 3 people, and I built the program. I was my ideal client, so I built the program around what I wanted to spend when I was in that stage of my life and how much I wanted to commit. Because when I hired my business coach, her program was $1,000 a month, talking on the phone once a week. And for me, as a full-time wearing way too many hats, once a week was actually overwhelming. So this is how I geared my program around. It's chatting every second week, and then that financial commitment came down too. So that's what I based my program around this time around. Okay, so back to step 3. So I figured out how much I wanted, the $5,000, how many seats I had to sell, at what price, and I launched. Don't do more than like a 2-week launch, because then it kind of gets old. So during your launch, so this is moving into step 4. So you show up and you share your greatness until you hit your number. And it doesn't mean coming on and doing ads and sell. It means sharing your knowledge so people can like, know, and trust you, and pitching your offer. 90% value, 10% sell. You can do this a couple of ways. You can show up and share 90% value and then sell at the end, or you can do a bunch of videos not even selling at all and then do a sell. If you're either educating or entertaining, then people want to watch you. Those are kind of the rules. And as I said, you don't have to show up on video. I did my first launch with no video. You can show up through posts. You can show up through audio. You can show up through reaching out personally to people. You can interview people. If you're nervous to get on camera, you can actually interview people, and then they're doing most of the talking, and you just get to get your video pumped out on Facebook in front of people, and the other person, if you're nervous, the other person can go on camera. So that was step number 4. Show up for your audience each and every day. No, show up for your audience consistently. You get to decide. When I was working full-time, my consistent show up was a newsletter once a week. Now, this is my full-time gig. I show up once a day live and educate. Show up, share what I know, so that people can learn, and then if they want to move forward, then they do. So for this program that I just launched, I still have one more seat, and it's a 90-day escape plan. So I got clear. I cleared my cup first, and then I got super specific what I wanted to sell and how and who I wanted to sell to, and then I showed up each and every day. So what this all stemmed from was I was laying in yoga class a couple days ago, and I couldn't wipe this stupid grin off my face, and I didn't know why, and I was thinking back, and I was like, what the heck, why am I so happy? This is amazing. And that's why, is everything was so clear to me. Like, when I first hired my business coach, I didn't even know I was going to keep running Nourish. I hired her to help me figure out, like, that was one of the exercises we did, and Nourish was just on my list. I didn't know if I was going to close the doors or continue on. It was just one of the items on my energy list. So one of my goals when our first conversations and when I was filling out the worksheet, she's like, what do you want? And I didn't even know that I wanted to quit my day job or anything like that yet. I just knew I wanted clarity. I wanted my energy to be ringed in. It was so scattered. So clarity was one of the things I was seeking, and how I did that was I built out one program only, and I focused all my energy. For that time, I didn't sell the Nourish boxes. I didn't put energy into my snack line. I didn't put energy into one-on-one coaching. All I focused on was this one program, and everybody who approached me, I funneled into that program, and that was me. That's all I offered, and it worked so well. And then I started to broaden the line because I got so excited, and I was able to sell along the way, but no launch has been as successful as that one. So that's why I did it again, and I realized, like, oh, Steph, you're scattered again. You have all these different programs. Let's ring it in. People don't know what to do if they come to your site and there's so much stuff. Or if you're offering if you try to help everybody, you're going to help nobody. And I definitely got into that, and I've still been in business, but it wasn't as easy to bring the sales in when I was broad. I had to, I have a whole team of ambassadors selling my stuff, and they do really well because they pick one program. Like, one of our gals, she picks the fitness program and sells that like crazy because that's the only thing she sells. So I really do, whether you're one of our ambassadors or you have your own business, just do one thing. And if that scares you, you can always do different things at different seasons and different times, but when you're selling something, just sell the one thing and focus on the one thing, and do all of your messaging and all of your videos towards that. Otherwise your customer gets confused, and they don't know what you offer. So this would be my second favorite launch, and I was so excited in yoga class because it was clear, and I didn't have all this craziness going around in my head. It was so clear, and I was so focused, and I'm truly teaching in my niche now. Health and wellness was always fun for me, but it was once upon a time my niche, and I figured out how to make it my niche. But now that I'm teaching health coaches how to make money, like, this right now in my time of my life it's amazing, and it's super, you'll know when you hit it. And let me know too in the comments what your niche is and what you get fired up to do. So if you had to teach a webinar for 30 minutes, what would you teach on? If you know this information like the back of your hand, if you're thinking of it all day long and you love sharing that information, that can be your niche. With health and wellness, I know that myself, like, after years and years of teaching it, I almost got a little bitter. I was like, didn't want people to ask for my free advice anymore, and I was doing it for so long that I almost fell out of love with it. So that's okay too. If you're a a health coach and you did your training and change. Like, I did my training as a dietitian, and then I took my yoga training and reflexology, and I do 10-day meditations, and I can teach on whatever I want, right? And you can too. And it's just find what you're passionate about. And from my experience, if you have a personal story to connect with the audience, then that's best, because everything that you write, like all your copy on your website, you're speaking to a specific person and a specific audience. So you got to get in their head. So for my lifestyle program, my Cut Cravings Without Counting Calories, I've never had crazy cravings, or I've never done that. So I have to actually poll my audience. I have to ask my customers. I have to interrogate my ideal clients so that I can write the proper copy. But now with this program, I'm actually my ideal client a couple of years ago. So I don't have to interrogate anyone. I just think back into my brain when I was struggling, working full-time for somebody else, all those different hats, and I wanted to run my business. I just think back to that era and I can write all my copy. So from my experience, you can do both. I've done both very successfully. I'm finding this one much easier. Maybe it's because I have more experience as well. It's probably a whole whackload of things, but if you can connect a story within your industry to something personal, I would suggest that. And then just try it out. I mean, you can always switch your niche. You can always switch what you sell. But that's the best thing to do, is just try it out. And I actually have been teaching on the subject for the past year. I just hadn't officially packaged something and sold it. I was testing the waters to see if I actually even liked it. So for the past year, I've been working with Leanne Jacobs. I've run a book club on beautiful money. I've been teaching on how to make money. I just wasn't until now that I've packaged it and sold it. So I tested the waters and I loved it. Every time I would come off of talking about the subject or helping people, I knew that it was the right thing. So a little bit of me was torn. I was a little bit scared to kind of move niches, because I have this huge audience of people who were coming for health and nutrition. So I was a little bit worried, like all of my bills were being paid from that. So I was kind of scared to jump ship. But in a sense, I didn't really jump ship. Like, all of those programs are still running. This is just how I'm choosing to coach with people one-on-one now. And the bonus that I'm offering this fall is actually rights to all my stuff. So my 3 gals that are working with me this fall, I still have 1 seat. They actually can use my stuff. So if both of them are actually dietitians, so they can use all of my copy and all of my ebook and everything. Because I know when I partnered with Leanne and I was given a 30-day cleanse, a 30-page ebook and everything, it was freaking amazing, because I had just spent 6 months making mine, so I knew how hard it was and how much work it took to edit the ebook and all of that. So that's why I want to offer it to my people, because I know that I was there. So that's how I built out this program, is to fill the voids and fill the need of that specific client, which was me not too long ago. How much longer till I can go to the airport? 40 minutes, I think. If you're just joining and you can see my lovely hair, I just got back from hot yoga and I'm going to pick up Scott at the airport. So I'm staying awake. I usually go to bed at 9:30, 10, and I'm off my phone by 8 p.m. So tonight I am doing a little special here with my flowers at the kitchen table. They don't smell. Just to stay awake, I got these flowers. Scott's coming home today. He loves flowers. Okay, what else can we talk about? What other successful launches have I had? I'm just sharing my 4-step process to sell online, and straight from my 90-day escape plan. So if you want to watch the replay, I just went through my 5K launch, how I quit my day job, the 5K launch with my lifestyle program, and then, yes, mums, and then I am currently in a launch, just about done it. I have about 4 days left, because I only like to launch for about 2 weeks. After that, it kind of gets old. And then my next thing that I'm going to do once I finish up that, because I like to focus all my energy, I'm going to do make an extra $1,000 group and then walk those people through the process and offer an affiliate option with that. So if you're interested in that, the link in my bio, we have a Facebook group called Work Smarter Not Harder, and then I've linked it, and I'm going to open the doors on September 25th for those people who want to they're not interested in quitting their day jobs or like replacing their full-time income, but an extra $1,000 online would be nice. If that's you, then that's going to be my next, and it's going to be an online training series with a Facebook group. And then once you hit your $1,000, you'll have the opportunity to be an affiliate and earn money off of that program. But my work is not to get ahead of myself. I need to stay in this one launch, finish it up, close it off, and then move on to the next. So one thing at a time. That's the best advice I can give, because as soon as you start getting all these things, then scattered energy is no good. Another successful launch that I did was a cleanse. So people love start dates. If you offer a cleanse or anything, a program, then organize a start date. People love that. And as well as there's group energy, and you can conserve your energy and move this group through like that, rather than one person here, one person there. And that's how I did my first 5K launch too, was a group of 10 women moving through my 90-day program together. And then they have the support of each other as well. And affiliates are awesome. I've been an affiliate, and I have people that affiliate for me. And what sells is people sharing their experience. So that's what network marketing is too, is people share their experience, and they already like you or know you and trust you, so then they buy. So that's kind of like affiliate marketing as well. I'm actually no affiliate. I just made $180 for my neighbor bought a water cooler. So it's just like affiliate, that's just a random one I had arranged. But I've also been an affiliate for Leanne Jacobs, or people that you're just naturally going to talk about their stuff anyways, or your audience would love it, then you can organize an affiliate with them. A little bit on that though is, I've learned this the hard way. Don't make everything a job. I do this and it's exhausting. So when I made that affiliate with the water cooler guy, that was in my days of making everything jobs. Now my work is just to like play more and not make everything work. I even like this, I was showing on my Instagram stories earlier. This was actually one of my first like entrepreneurial things. I quit my job and sold these over Christmas and paid for my bills that way. I just made these yoga socks. This isn't my best work. They go on your foot, and that's what I did one time. So if you're anyone like me, if you love to make money, or just you always have all of these ideas, do yourself a favor and pick one, stick to it, and niche down, because if you make everything a job, then it gets exhausting. I've done it. How else can I chat with you on this Sunday evening? Well, don't fall asleep. Why did I agree to this? Yes, it is all about the mindset. One of my favorite podcasts is Mind Your Business podcast by James Wedmore. That was actually one of, I think, the secrets to my success when I finally quit my day job. I listened to his audio. It's called 77 Business Affirmations. It's by James Wedmore. Mind Your Business podcast. It's an audio download. I think it's like 40 minutes. I listen to that every night before I went to bed for 6 months. And actually I'm listening to it again now that I'm launching again. It's incredible. He is amazing. And sorry, I got hiccups. So it's just an audio about the entrepreneurial journey, and it just like gets you in the right mindset. So it's called 77 Business Affirmations by James Wedmore. Yes, it's all about the mindset. And a little trick too, I said it earlier, I'll say it again, it's if you are getting ready to quit your day job, the best thing you can do is label your job as, this is temporary, and I am grateful for it. It's getting to me to where I'm going to go. Because more often than not, we're saying, I freaking hate my job. I wish I was at home. I can't stand this job. How do I get out of it? That's not good. That's not good energy moving forward. It's temporary. It's temporary. It's temporary. Every time we want to drop the mic and leave your job, it's temporary. It's getting me to where I want to go. But then the key piece is you actually have to make your plan of action so that you're not saying that for years and years and years and hating your job and hating your life. Yeah. And then the podcast is called Mind Your Business Podcast. One of my favorites. I actually listen to it every morning. Yeah, that happens too. So Janice, are you a health coach? Do you have a side hobby, or are you just getting into starting to brainstorm ideas? And it really is the way of the future of selling online. You can still sell in person, but everybody has their phones in their pockets, right? And it's where I go for information. That's where people go, is online. And Facebook and Instagram is constantly changing, so don't get too worried about that. You also don't need a huge email list or need to do like crazy sales funnels. I've done all organic. Reach, which just means selling online without paying for ads. And I've got some tips. I'm going to do a live video tomorrow on that, of how to sell online without paying for ads or having a fancy website. Janice, work for the government, but nice. I'm actually with USANA as well. It's a fantastic company. It's one of my multiple revenue streams, and I'm a big fan of direct sales if it's with the right company. And the way you know if it's the right company is if they've been around for a while, 15, 20, 25 years like USANA. If it's a consumable product, so people are going to need to come back for more. So yes, USANA's got that. And then if you personally like it, that's another reason. And so direct selling is one of my multiple revenue streams. And I like to teach people to have multiple, because having all your eggs in one basket is not, I don't think, a great idea. You can definitely go full-time with network marketing, but at the beginning it's really nice, if you are using it as your full-time, to have multiple, or to keep your government job and build up your USANA until you can quit. But yeah, USANA's fantastic products. I love them. I added that to my business a year ago, just over a year ago, and just integrated it in, and it's been fantastic. And it's been fantastic. I love the team of people that I work with, above me and below me. I love the products. And I know, like, for myself, as I joined as a dietitian, and the products, I needed to know that they worked for me, and I really liked them. So for 3 months, I tested them out on myself. I put all of my other supplements aside, and I just did USANA, and to see how I felt. And they're incredible. And the main, it really made my life easier as a health coach, as a dietitian, because I no longer had to look and research all of the brands to see if they were practicing properly. I knew that USANA was pharmaceutical grade, which means what's on the bottle is what is on the labels in the bottle, which is not the case for all supplements. So before, when I was recommending all sorts, I kind of had my couple brands that I knew were good, but now, like, I have full confidence and I don't have to research. Janice, I am with Leanne Jacobs, Freedom Warriors, Game Changers, that crew out of Toronto. Leanne Jacobs is a good one to follow within USANA. She's 7 figures, and I actually found her podcast before I even knew about USANA, and she has a podcast called Beautiful Money. And if you join my Facebook group, I have a 4-week course that you get for free with her book. She has a book called Beautiful Money. I really identified with her. And funny story how I actually got involved with USANA. I hired a business coach off of Instagram. I was searching around on New Year's Eve for I needed clarity. So there was a sponsored ad on Instagram, and it was a girl who was teaching on clarity and setting your goals. So I went, and it was great. And then she pitched her business course, her 90-day business course, and I ended up joining it, and I coached with her for 90 days. I made my first 5K month. She was amazing. I actually coached with her for 4 months. I extended it a month after I had launched that, because I had quit my job and I just wanted that extra support. And then our last coaching call, she had gotten me, she helped me set up some passive revenue streams, and I said, okay, do you have anything else up your sleeve that is passive and residual? And she started laughing, and then she pitched USANA to me. So it was perfect, because I actually got to keep coaching with this business coach that I was paying $500 a month for before. She was the one who helped me launch and sell my program and quit my day job. She actually ended up being my USANA sponsor, who was her sponsor. Above her was Leanne. So that was cool how that works out. And I was listening to Leanne's podcast and looking on her website before all of this. So I like when those things work out. Beautiful Money is so good. So I'm actually an affiliate for her course. I don't know if she's doing it again. She did a 2-hour, she extended it to 3-hour money manifesto. I did the first one, and then I became an affiliate. I know she did a second one because I sold some seats to it. She might be doing a third one. It's amazing. It's 3 hours with her. You get access to her and email access, and that she walks you through everything that she personally does as a 7-figure earner. And why I admire her so much too is she, as I do, loves the multiple revenue streams, not just one, but multiple. Ooh, getting close. Almost go to the airport. Pick up Scott. I don't really stay up for much, but he's worth it. Janice, which tribe are you with? Can't believe I went on live with this yoga hair. What is the world coming to? At least I didn't record it. I'm also dropping off 2 bags of used clothes on my way to the airport. I had a crazy day of decluttering, and it felt so good. Spring cleaning my butt, more like September cleaning. Oh, nice. With Steph Packer and Lindsay and Lauren and Cassandra. And who else? Are you in Halifax then? Halifax crew. Oof. Oh, you're in the valley. Nice. All right, if you just joined, this is just an informal chit-chat about how to make money online. I'm staying up late to pick Scott up at the airport, and so I just popped on after yoga to chit-chat about the 4-step process I use to make money online in different launches. So the replay will be up for 24 hours. If you missed it, and If you have any questions, just send me a message. We've got the Valley and Truro Maritime Gals. I'm living in Halifax, but I'm from Vancouver Island, BC. I've lived here 9 years, maybe 10. I moved out here to finish my nutrition degree, my dietetics degree, and then stayed. I got sucked in. Last year I went back to BC 4 times, so this is why I work online. I used to have jobs that were super flexible and amazing bosses that would let me travel a lot. But there was always that, if you guys have your own businesses, always that drive to just do what I want when I want without telling anyone. So, and another reason I actually love the online space and why I do everything that I do is I go in and meditate for 10 days. So last June I was only doing my business, running it full time, and I actually went away and I meditated for 10 days, turned off all my phone, my computer, and everything ran itself. So that was amazing. And I remember my brother was with me, and after the 10 days we were chatting, and he's always been my go-to for money. Like if I ever needed money, or he's even like offered to invest in me, and I've never taken out loans or anything for my business. I just kind of give her and make money and do it that way. But anyways, he's always been there for me. And after we came out of the 10 days, and you always, like, when you're meditating, you kind of have this feeling, this Dharma feeling you want to give to other people, whether it's like telling them about the meditation or helping them. And for him, it was, he had this feeling that he had an extra $1,000 and he was going to offer it to me if I needed it. And so then he said that, and I said, oh no, it's okay, like I've figured it out, I've gotten everything under control, like I super appreciate that, but I'm good. And he said, okay, he said, that's amazing. He goes, I think I know a guy at work that could really use it. But I'll never forget that feeling. It's a good feeling. So at that time I had everything running passively. So I had my 90-day lifestyle crew going, and how I run that one is they communicate with me at the first and last of the month. So when I went away during the middle part of the month, it was okay. They didn't need me. And as well, I had the USANA stuff going, and I had my snack line, and I have other programs that are online and just passive, so they run themselves. And then I have a whole team of ambassadors as well that while I'm away, they can keep an eye on the groups and post and answer people's questions. And so that's a main, I just went to the USANA conference, and all the speakers come full circle to find your why, and why are you doing this? So that's one of mine. And then a second one would be Frankie, my dog, and my long-term visions of wanting to be at home once I have a family with my kids. I don't want to send them to daycare. So those are my reasons. And then the meditations, I do that with my mom and my brother. And then like I said, I live on the other side of the country, so I need to have a flexible job so that I can participate in my sister's life and her life and all of my family and friends. And to let me know your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to make more money? What are you going to do with it when you make it? That's another trick is once you figure out, that was step 3, like how much you want to make your freedom number per month, where's that money going to go? Allocate all of the money to things, and don't just put it all towards debt. Like, put it towards things that matter and really declare what you're going to do with it, and be clear. Otherwise, it's just a number. You can even write a blank check to yourself. Some people do that. I know Leanne says that, and then another gal that I follow, her channel's Rich Bitch podcast, Angie Lee, she actually just did a live on writing a blank check. Well, it's fun hanging out. Thanks for keeping me up. Oh, look who's here. Yeah, I like this. Okay, if you missed it, you and your love, what I'm starstruck. Hi. We got a bunch of USANA girls on. This is amazing. How was the event? So there's different events. I'm sure, Janice, you go to the ones here, but there's some in Toronto. Yeah, that was amazing. So Kate Northrup, Leanne Jacobs I know those two. If you don't follow Kate Northrup already, she's good too. She has the book Money, a Love Story. And she actually started, I remember I was listening to something of hers, and she was so far in debt when she started teaching people how to make money, which sounds crazy, but her mother is Dr. Northrup, who's also in the money game with USANA too. Alright, gals. I am yoga brained. I just went to Yin Yoga and popped on here to stay up because I'm picking Scott up at the airport. Thank you for hanging out with me. And if you missed it, this chit chat was informal and it was all about how to make money online. Good night. I was actually thinking of you in yoga today. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.